The TSV Pioneer gleamed in Earth's orbit, a sleek silver vessel representing humanity's greatest achievement. The ship's adaptive hull sparkled under the distant sun as final preparations for launch continued. This was mankind's first and only FTL-capable starship, built from the combined resources of all nations on Earth. Captain Jun Kim stood by the observation window, watching Earth rotate slowly beneath them. His dark uniform fit perfectly, the single gold star on his collar marking him as the mission commander. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on his shoulders. 7 billion people had placed their hopes in this single ship and its crew of 120 specialists. "Final systems check complete, Captain," said Engineer Hua as she approached. Her practical jumpsuit had numerous pockets filled with tools, and her hair was pulled back in a simple tie. "The adaptive hull is responding perfectly. It should protect us from anything we encounter out there." June nodded. "And the drive? Ready for activation. If our calculations are correct, we'll reach Alpha Centauri in 3 days." The pioneering FTL drive was humanity's greatest technological leap. After decades of theory and failed attempts, scientists had finally created a functional faster-than-light system. The resources required were so immense that only one ship could be built. The Pioneer would have to succeed alone. June walked through the corridors to the bridge. Crew members nodded respectfully as he passed. Some looked nervous, others excited. All understood the historic nature of their mission. The bridge hummed with activity as officers monitored their stations. Science Officer Sun looked up from her console, her eyes bright with anticipation. "Captain on bridge," announced Tactical Officer Tay, standing straight. "At ease," June said. "Status report." Communications Officer Day turned from his station. "Messages still coming in from Earth, sir. Leaders, families, even children. Everyone wants to wish us well." "Not everyone," Science Officer Sun said quietly. "The protest groups are still active. They believe we're abandoning Earth rather than fixing our problems." June understood the criticism. Earth faced serious challenges: climate instability, resource depletion, rising tensions. Some felt the enormous resources poured into the Pioneer could have been better used at home. "Our mission serves all humanity," June reminded them. "Find habitable worlds, establish contact with other civilizations if they exist, and open the way for future ships." Medical Officer Min entered the bridge carrying her tablet. "Medical bay is ready, Captain. All crew have completed final checks." "Good," June replied. "How are stress levels?" Min smiled slightly. "Elevated, but within expected parameters. We're about to make history. Everyone's heart is beating a little faster." The final hour before launch passed quickly. Engineer Hua ran the last diagnostics on the FTL drive, while navigation plotted their course. Earth Control sent the final authorization codes. "All stations report ready, Captain," First Officer Kang announced. His steady presence had been a comfort during the years of training. June took his seat in the command chair. "Open ship-wide communications." "Channel open," said Day. June took a deep breath. "This is your captain speaking. In moments we will activate our FTL drive and leave our solar system, the first humans to travel to another star. Each of you was chosen for your exceptional abilities and dedication. Together, we carry the hopes of our species. Our mission: explore, establish diplomatic contact if possible, and find potential homes for humanity among the stars. I am proud to serve with each of you." He nodded to Kang, who began the launch sequence. "Drive powering up," reported Engineer Hua from Engineering. "All systems nominal." On the main view screen, Earth grew smaller as the Pioneer moved to safe jump distance. Many crew members took a final look at their home planet, knowing it might be years before they saw it again. "FTL drive at full power," Hua's voice came through the speakers. "Ready on your command." June looked at his crew, these brave men and women who had volunteered to face the unknown. "Activate FTL drive." A low hum built throughout the ship. The stars on the view screen began to distort. "Something's wrong," Engineer Hua suddenly reported, her voice tense. "Gravitational anomaly detected. It's affecting the drive field. Before anyone could respond, the ship lurched violently. Crew members grabbed their stations as alarms blared throughout the vessel. "Stabilize!" June ordered, holding tight to his chair. The view screen showed a blur of light as the Pioneer accelerated far beyond its intended velocity. The ship groaned under forces it wasn't designed to withstand. "The anomaly is amplifying our drive field," shouted Sun over the alarms. "We're moving too fast." For 3 terrifying minutes, the Pioneer hurtled through space at impossible speeds. Then suddenly everything stopped. The ship emerged from FTL, systems rebooting as the emergency protocols engaged. Silence fell over the bridge as everyone recovered. The adaptive hull had protected them, automatically reconfiguring to absorb the stress. "Damage report," June ordered, straightening in his chair. "Minor systems damage only," reported Hua with relief. The adaptive hull performed better than expected. "Where are we?" June asked, turning to Sun. The science officer studied her readings, her expression changing from confusion to disbelief. "Captain," she said quietly, "according to these readings, we're over 3,000 light-years from Earth." The crew exchanged shocked glances. Their intended destination had been just over 4 light-years away. "Confirmed," said the navigation officer. "These star patterns match no charts in our database." June stood and approached the view screen. A completely unfamiliar star system filled the display, with planets orbiting a bright blue sun. "It seems," he said calmly, "our mission has changed. First order of business, determine our exact location and assess that system ahead. The human race has traveled farther than we ever imagined possible. Now let's see what's waiting for us." The Pioneer drifted toward the blue star system, its adaptive hull still glowing faintly from the strain of the unexpected jump. "Captain," June ordered a full survey of the area while the engineering team worked to understand what had happened to their FTL drive. 6 planets in this system," Science Officer Sun reported, studying the sensor readings. "The 4th one shows signs of civilization, artificial structures, energy signatures, and communications." Engineer Hua approached with her report. "The drive is stable but needs time to recalibrate. Whatever that anomaly was, it created a cascade effect. We won't be jumping again soon." June nodded, his face calm despite the situation. "Then we proceed. Carefully. This isn't Alpha Centauri, but our mission remains the same. Explore and establish contact if possible." As the Pioneer moved deeper into the system, Communications Officer Day suddenly straightened at his station. "Captain, I'm picking up transmissions. Definitely artificial, multiple frequencies. Can you decode them?" June asked. "Working on it. The computer is analyzing patterns now." The bridge crew worked efficiently despite their shock at being thrown so far from home. The 4th planet grew larger on their view screen, a world with swirling blue-green oceans and purple land masses. "More ships detected," Tactical Officer Tay called out suddenly. 2 distinct groups approaching from different directions. On the main screen, elegant vessels with crystalline structures appeared, their designs unlike anything humans had imagined. They moved with incredible grace, leaving trails of light behind them. From the opposite direction came darker, angular ships, their hulls covered with what looked like weapons. "The second group is pursuing the first," Tay observed, "and they're firing on them." Bright energy beams shot from the angular vessels toward the crystalline ships. One of the beautiful craft took a direct hit and began to spin out of control. "We've stumbled into someone else's conflict," First Officer Kang said quietly. June watched the unfolding battle with concern. "Raise shields. Bring us to alert status, but take no aggressive action." The pursuing ships suddenly changed course. 3 of them broke away from their original targets and headed straight for the Pioneer. "They've noticed us," Tay reported. "Sensors indicate weapons powering up. They're treating us as a threat." Before June could respond, the communications system activated. A face appeared on screen. Humanoid but clearly alien with blue-tinted skin and large expressive eyes. "Unknown vessel," the being spoke, their words translated by the ship's computer. "I am Elder Shur of the Galshi people. The Vorn attack force will fire on you next. They destroy all who do not submit. Please assist or withdraw immediately, the B. Transmission cut off as another crystalline ship took a hit. The Vorn ships are locking weapons on us, Tay warned. Impact in 30 seconds. June made his decision. Defensive posture only. Hua, activate the adaptive hull protocols. Let's show them we're not easy prey. Engineer Hua's voice came through the comm system. Adaptive hull engaging, Captain. It will learn from the first impacts. The Pioneer shuddered as energy beams struck its hull, but instead of causing damage, the adaptive material absorbed the energy, analyzing it and reconfiguring its molecular structure in response. Hull integrity at 92% and stabilizing, Hua reported with surprise. The system is adapting faster than we predicted. When the Vorn ships fired again, the beams had almost no effect. The Pioneer's hull glowed briefly, then returned to normal. They're pulling back, Tay announced, regrouping with their main fleet. Open a channel to the Galshi, June ordered. Elder Shur's face reappeared, looking both surprised and curious. Your vessel survived the Vorn attack. Most newcomers do not. We come in peace, June said, using the traditional greeting. I am Captain June of the Starship Pioneer from Earth. We mean no harm to you or the Vorn. Earth? Elder Shur repeated the word carefully. We know of no such world. Your technology is unusual. We've traveled farther than intended, June explained. This is our first contact with any species beyond our world. Elder Shur's expression changed to one of astonishment. You are new to space travel? Yet you resist Vorn weapons? Our hull is designed to adapt, June said simply. A new alarm sounded. Captain, the Vorn fleet is moving toward the Galshi home planet, Tay reported. The ships we encountered were just a scouting party. Elder Shur looked distressed. Captain? June of Earth, the Vorn seek to destroy our civilization. They conquer all systems in their path. We have fought for generations, but they grow stronger while we weaken. June considered their situation carefully. The Pioneer was alone, far from home, with no immediate way back. But they had something the Galshi needed, adaptive technology and a fresh perspective. Elder Shur, we would like to offer assistance, June said. Perhaps we could discuss how our technologies might work together. Later that day, the Pioneer docked with the Galshi sanctuary ship. A delegation led by June, including Science Officer Sun, Engineer Hua, and Medical Officer Min, prepared to meet their hosts in person. As the airlock opened, they faced a group of tall, graceful beings with shimmering blue skin. Elder Shur stepped forward, studying the humans with obvious fascination. One ship, Elder Shur said wonderingly. Just one human ship, yet you adapted to Vorn weapons in minutes. No species has ever done this, Science Officer Sun smiled. Adaptation is what humans do best. Then perhaps, Elder Shur replied, you are exactly what this galaxy needs. The Vorn believe themselves unstoppable because no one thinks differently, enough to challenge them. Where we come from, June said. Thinking differently is our specialty. As they followed the Galshi into their ship, June realized their accidental journey might have a purpose after all. Humanity's first step into the stars had landed them exactly where they needed to be. The Galshi sanctuary ship hummed with activity as humans and aliens worked together. 2 weeks had passed since first contact, and the crew of the Pioneer had quickly integrated with their new allies. Engineer Hua stood beside Galshi scientist Nal at a workstation, both focused on the holographic display showing shield diagrams. Your thinking patterns are unusual, Nal said, watching Hua modify the Galshi shield systems. The tall blue-skinned alien tilted her head, large eyes blinking rapidly in what the humans had learned was a sign of fascination. We call it thinking outside the box, Hua replied with a smile. She made another adjustment to the design. You've been using the same shield configuration for centuries, but if we redirect the energy flow here and here, we can make it adaptive like our hull. Nal watched in amazement as the simulation showed the modified shields absorbing and learning from energy attacks. But that should not work. The theories say, sometimes theories need updating, Hua said gently. Human science has often advanced because someone questioned established thinking. Across the sanctuary ship, similar scenes played out. Science Officer Sun worked with Galshi astronomers, teaching them human methods of stellar analysis. Medical Officer Min exchanged knowledge with alien healers, each side fascinated by the other's approach to medicine. Captain June sat with Elder Shur in the Galshi Command Center, reviewing tactical data on the Vorn fleet movements. There, gathering for another assault, Elder Shur said grimly. Our sources indicate they will target our homeworld within days. We've evacuated most civilians, but many remain. June studied the display. The Vorn rely heavily on overwhelming force and predictable attack patterns. It has served them well for centuries, Elder Shur replied. Few can withstand such power. But they've never faced humans before, June said thoughtfully. Our history is filled with smaller forces defeating larger ones through creativity and unexpected tactics. At that moment, First Officer Kang entered with Tactical Officer Tae. Captain, we've analyzed the Vorn battle recordings, Tae reported. They're extremely hierarchical. All commands come from their flagship, and their ships never act independently. June nodded slowly. A central point of failure. That's something we can use. The calm planning was interrupted by alarms blaring throughout the ship. A young Galshi rushed into the command center. Elder, Vorn ships have jumped into the system. They're attacking the homeworld now. Elder Shur's face paled to a lighter blue. But our intelligence said we had days. They're adapting too, June realized. They've learned to be unpredictable. The sanctuary ship's main screen activated, showing the Galshi homeworld. A dozen Vorn warships had positioned themselves in orbit, firing on the planet's defensive shields. Our defense fleet is 2 jumps away, Elder Shur said desperately. They won't arrive in time. June made a quick decision. The Pioneer can help. We're the only ship in position to respond. We can't possibly hold against a fleet, Kang warned as they hurried toward their ship. We don't need to win, June countered. We just need to survive long enough for reinforcements. Within minutes, the crew had returned to the Pioneer. The adaptive hull gleamed as systems came online. All stations report ready, Kang announced on the bridge. June took his command chair. Set course for the Galshi homeworld. Maximum speed. The Pioneer raced through space, its engines pushed to their limits. On the bridge, tension mounted as they approached the battle zone. Vorn fleet detected, Tae reported. 12 warships. They haven't noticed us yet. HFY, status of the adaptive hull? June asked through the comm. Fully operational, Captain. It remembers the Vorn weapons from our previous encounter and has prepared adjustments. June leaned forward in his chair. Take us in. Target the lead ship with our disruptors. Let's get their attention. The Pioneer swooped into the battle, firing its experimental disruptor beams at the largest Vorn vessel. The shots didn't penetrate the alien shields, but they caused the massive ship to turn away from the planet. They're responding, Tae said. 3 ships breaking formation to pursue us. Evasive pattern Delta, June ordered. Keep them chasing us. The Pioneer danced through space, nimble despite its size. The Vorn ships followed, firing constantly. But with each hit, the Pioneer's hull adapted further, learning and evolving against the attacks. In the medical bay, Min noticed something strange while monitoring the battle. Each time the Vorn fired their main weapons, their communication signals fluctuated in a specific pattern. Captain, she called to the bridge. I'm detecting unusual frequencies in the Vorn communications during weapons fire. Their systems seem sensitive to specific sound patterns. Explain, June requested as the ship shook from another hit. It's like their technology resonates uncomfortably with certain frequencies. Not enough to damage them, but possibly enough to disrupt their targeting systems. June immediately saw the potential. Can you isolate these frequencies and amplify them? With help from communications, yes. Do it, June ordered. D. Work with Min to create a disruptive broadcast. While the Pioneer continued its dance with the Vorn ships, Min and Day worked frantically. Finally, they had a solution. Broadcasting now, Day announced. The effect was immediate but subtle. The Vorn ships' firing became less accurate. Their formation grew slightly disordered. "It's working," Tay reported with surprise. "Their hit ratio has dropped by 30%. For nearly an hour, the lone human ship held the attention of 3 Vorn warships, drawing them away from the planet, while disrupting their systems just enough to survive. Then finally, the sensors detected new arrivals. "Galshi Defense Fleet has arrived," Kang announced with relief. As the Galshi ships engaged the Vorn, the enemy fleet quickly retreated, jumping out of the system. Later, aboard the Galshi command ship, Elder Shir addressed the assembled captains. The Pioneer crew stood among them, tired but proud. "One ship," Elder Shir announced. "One ship from an unknown world bought us the time we needed. The humans have shown us that adaptation and creativity can stand against brute force." News spread quickly through nearby systems. A single vessel from a distant planet had challenged the Vorn and survived. Throughout the galaxy, oppressed species began to wonder if the invincible Vorn might have finally met their Maquis. Aboard the Pioneer, June directed the initial phase of the battle. Coalition Group 2. Execute Maneuver Theta. Group 3. Prepare sonic disruption on my mark. The smaller coalition vessels darted between the massive Vorn warships, drawing their fire while the Pioneer led a direct assault on their defensive line. When the Vorn adjusted their formation, the coalition ships instantly changed tactics. "They're responding exactly as predicted," Sun reported from the science station. "Their command structure can't adapt quickly enough." The Pioneer shuddered as it took a direct hit from a Vorn destroyer. "Hull integrity at 85% and stabilizing," reported Hua. "The adaptive system is compensating." June nodded calmly. "Officer Min, begin sonic disruption broadcast." Throughout the Vorn fleet, the carefully calculated sonic frequencies began to interfere with their systems. The effect wasn't devastating, but it introduced small errors in targeting and communication, enough to create confusion. "Their formation is breaking down," Tay reported with excitement. The Vorn Supreme Commander pounded his control panel in rage. His precisely organized attack was falling into disorder as ships reported conflicting data and garbled commands. "Target the human vessel," he ordered. "Destroy it at all costs." The Vorn fleet focused their fire on the Pioneer, but this was exactly what June had planned. As the enemy weapons converged, the Coalition's secret weapon activated. The Pioneer's hull began to glow with energy absorbed from the attacks. Instead of dissipating this energy, the Galshi crystal technology stored and redirected it. A brilliant beam shot from the human ship striking the Vorn command vessel's main propulsion system. For the first time in centuries of warfare, a Vorn flagship was disabled in battle. "Communications to all coalition ships," June ordered. "Execute final phase." The coalition vessels moved with perfect coordination, targeting specific systems on each Vorn ship. They didn't try to destroy the enemy, but instead disabled their weapons and propulsion one by one. Inside the Vorn command ship, systems failed as the Supreme Commander watched helplessly. His fleet, the most powerful force in known space, was being systematically neutralized by a handful of ships led by a species no one had heard of months ago. 3 hours later, the battle ended. The Vorn fleet drifted powerless, surrounded by the intact coalition ships. Captain June and representatives from each coalition world transported to the Vorn flagship to meet with the Supreme Commander. The Vorn leader was tall and imposing, his gray skin covered in battle scars. He looked down at the human captain with a mixture of hatred and grudging respect. "How?" he demanded simply. "How did inferior beings defeat us?" "We're not inferior," June replied. "Just different. You've conquered through overwhelming force and rigid discipline, but you never learned to adapt or cooperate." The Supreme Commander straightened proudly. "The Vorn do not surrender. Kill me and be done with it." "That's not why we're here," June said. "We came to offer terms. Your empire can continue, but as equals with other worlds, not conquerors. The era of Vorn domination has ended." The news of the Vorn defeat spread rapidly across the galaxy. Species that had lived under oppression for generations began to assert their independence. The Galactic Council, shocked by the Coalition's victory, voted to recognize the new alliance formally. Months later, the Pioneer prepared to send its first message back to Earth. Advanced coalition technology had found a way to establish communication across the vast distance. June composed the message carefully. To Earth Command. We have traveled farther than intended, discovered we are not alone, and found our place among the stars. Humanity's greatest strength is not our technology, but our adaptability and willingness to cooperate. The galaxy has been waiting for a catalyst like us. He paused, then added one final line. Send more ships. The stars are waiting for humanity to join them. The message shot across space toward the distant blue planet none of them might ever see again. The crew of the Pioneer had left home as explorers. Now they were ambassadors, teachers, and heroes. Proof that sometimes just one ship, with the right people aboard, could change the course of a galaxy.